I genuinely cannot wait for the day that I have 2 bookshelves. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, thanks so much for being here, or if you've returned, I love you. I appreciate it so much. In today's video, it might be a bit lengthy because we have 2 wrap-up months to do. We have April and May. So in April, we read a total of 7 books, which is crazy. I'm not going to do the page number stats, or I might actually just insert it on the screen. But I can tell you we had 4 fantasies, 1 memoir, 1 thriller, and 1 dark romance. For May, we read 4 books, so a little bit of a drop, which that one was 1 dark romance and 3 romances. Pretty sure it's like the first full month where all I've read is romance as well. Like that never happens. I do feel like this year I am reading a lot more romances than I typically do. And I'm loving it. Like, I'm loving being here. Actually, to add on in May too, I've started reading a horror thriller, I think. And it's like 10 short stories, pretty much in one book, kind of similar to the Mindfuck series. So I have started that. I've read the first 4 books in May. But yeah, I just honestly completely forgot about it. I don't know how. It's something. Okay, so starting off with the April reads, we have The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicerelli. So 3 of the fantasy books that I read in this month are actually for a 24-hour vlog, which will be coming out next week. So I will be going more in depth in the video with these, but I absolutely adored this book. 4.5 stars. It was so close to a 5. Like, it was just the start. I found this start, I was very confused. Like within the first 50 pages, there was so many names and like you didn't even hear about them later on in the book. So I was kind of getting lost with like who we need to know, who we need to keep track of. But needless to say, this is such a slow burn romance fantasy book. I ate it up. This book, the whole thing, is high stakes, morally grey MMC. The other thing with this one is a witch. So it's a witch and a witch hunter. And the witch hunter is hunting the witch, right? But the way that the witches gain their spells or the magic is with their monthly periods. And they've actually got to use the blood to, you know, draw the signs and activate the spell. So that was a bit like strange, but you know what, it sounds completely normal in here and I still recommend this. Like, it was so good. So next up, I finally read Little Stranger and I DNF'd it. So I DNF'd this about 50 pages in and I ended up messaging my friend and I asked her, like, does anything actually happen in the book? She told me about the father scene falling down the stairs and what they do. What? And I was like, no, I'm not continuing. Like, I'm DNFing this. How people rate this high, I'm not judging you, but I'm just curious on like, how, why. I want to know your thoughts because I couldn't get past the fact that every second word was brother or sister. I know they're fostered, I know that, but it was so repetitive. Like, these sentences were so repetitive, the nouns were so repetitive. They just kept every single chance they could get. It was like brother, sister, and I was just like, I get it. I know that you are or like semi-related, but it's like, I know you're related, you don't need to keep telling me, just do your business and get on with it. But no, every action they do, oh, you're my little sister. No. That was just a big miss for me. And even besides that though, the FMC was so freaking annoying. I couldn't stand her. She was the most oblivious thing in like the whole universe. It was just little things that like they were doing. Like the first time that she got naked, well, he asked her to get or told her, more the point, to get naked in front of him. She's like, oh, surely other brother and sisters do this. Like, stuff like that. I was just like, are you right? Like, are you right? So, you know what? I'm not going to be reading Little Liar to the second one. I'm DNFing the whole series. It's just a no from me. The next book that I did finish, and I actually finished pretty much a big series with this book, is Restless Stars in the Zodiac Academy series. This is the last book in the Zodiac Academy part, because there are other, you know, sidelines and spin-offs and all that jazz in the actual Solaria world. So this was the last book, and pretty much for me personally, I wasn't too excited to read this book. Not because it was the last one, not because I didn't want it to end, but pretty much because the last 3 books just went downhill for me. For me personally, they started to become boring. So if you haven't read Zodiac, I'm going to do a spoiler, but I'm going to put a timestamp up here for you so you can skip ahead to where to go. But a spoiler in a couple of seconds. You ready? Alright, so we all know that the Vega twins and their posse are in a war with Lionel and Lavinia. They've been in this war for like 3-4 books. Pretty much the whole series. I think it's more like 4, actually probably longer, honestly longer. It's gonna have to be like 4 or 5 books actually. So there's this lengthy war, and obviously it's gonna come to an end because it's the last book, right? Idea in what they had with Tori, you know, making a deal with Death himself and him allowing everyone beyond the veil to come across and help fight the war and help beat Lionel and Lavinia was so good. That was the best idea. But why couldn't one of them kill Lionel? Like, this is where it got let down for me. You're telling me that Hale, the Savage King, came back and there is this whole history of Lionel betraying him, lying to him, using dark coercion on him, and you're telling me he comes back and he doesn't even see Lionel? They don't even have an interaction like that. If the Vega twins were going to kill Lionel, I really wanted him to do it. I was like, yes, please, they are going to fight. This is going to be so good. It's going to be epic, amazing. I'm going to love it. That didn't happen. They didn't see each other. Lionel seen him from the distance, but whatever. Then the second disappointing thing was Lionel's brother was also there, right? The one that Lionel killed. I was like, yes, maybe his brother is gonna get revenge, right? No, wrong. Instead, we get Lionel running off, thinking he gets away. The posse and the twins hunt him down and he dies in like a 2-minute scene. After 9 freaking books. No, I felt like it just got wrapped up. Like, see ya. We're at 1200 pages. You know, you already wrote 1200 pages and you could have just wrote another fucking 200 pages on top of that. Like, you might as well at that point, right? Anyway, overall though, I didn't mind the 7-year skip. It was a bit of a wrap up. It did feel a bit long. Obviously, it went through everyone's point of view, so like, what do you expect? Honestly, there's so many of them. There's like 7 people or something. So next up we have Fallen Academy Year 1. Now this has, I believe, 4 books in the series. I know there is quite a few. I loved the absolute concept of this book. It is angels and demons, and there's an academy. Students go there, they learn, fight, you know. The whole thing in this kind of reminded me of Shadowhunters. So they kind of had like tattoos where, you know how on Shadowhunters they have like the wand and it lights up as they draw it, like relics as tattoos type of thing. That's what they have. It's very similar to that. There was even a couple of scenes in this where they would be running down, like leaving a club and running down an alleyway fighting demons, and I'm like, I swear I've seen that in Shadowhunters. So yeah, I did see a lot of similarities with that, I'm not gonna lie, but with this one it kind of fell a little flat for me. I did end up giving it 3 stars. At the time I was like, oh, I might continue the series, but I haven't honestly thought about it since. I didn't really entirely love this book, but it is YA, so maybe I'm at that point where I can't really expect much from YA, I guess. But yeah, so for the next one I ended up listening to the audiobook because people were literally like, listen to the audiobook. It was highly rated. So it was Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. So this one I gave 3.5 stars, but I really enjoyed the audiobook. It was really good. I do recommend it. It's hilarious. I love Josh. I just love Josh. But to be honest, if it wasn't for Josh, then the whole book would be rubbish. Like, it would be so boring. He made the whole book. His personality was so on point, and the fact that the FMC has a cat, right? It's just her and this cat living in an apartment, and as soon as Josh goes there, he fathers the cat and he's like, that's our son now. Like, he's ours. We're looking after him. So Josh is a TikTok masked sensation who does, like, I don't know, I guess like strip teasers and stuff online, like on live. And Ali actually watches him and ends up, I guess, head over heels. He ends up finding out who it is because his roommate is actually her ex-boyfriend. And then once Josh finds out that it's actually Ali, he goes and like stalks her and, you know, breaks into her room because he's this high-tech guy, and he breaks it into her room and then sends her cameras, and he's like, so you can, you know, feel protected. But this guy can like get around the cameras because he's a hacker, like he's a high-tech hacker. And so he's putting like things in place to protect her and help her feel safe, but yet he's like the one doing it. And yeah, so he's meant to be like a stalker romance, but I feel like it was like a fluffy version because technically they already know each other. And when I compare it to my other stalker romances, it's fluffy. It's so fluffy compared to it. It's not as dark as a normal like stalker romance or stalker dark romance. But even though I think that, still read the triggers because there are like triggering things still in the book, and it's definitely worthwhile to read the triggers because if you're not used to dark romance books, this is probably a really good start, honestly. So the other thing is, I was wondering for a good 50 to 60% of the book, like, what's the plot? Like, literally, where's the plot? There was nothing. It was giving nothing. It reminded me of Den of Vipers so much, where it's like a 20% plot and the rest is just smut. So yeah, it did feel a little flat there for me, but needless to say, it was still a really good, fun read. Like I said, Josh's personality, you honestly need to read it just for Josh's personality. Like, it was top tier. The next one may have broken my heart a little, and it is Light Lark. This book had me up and down. I had happy moments, I had sad moments, and then I was confused as hell with what I wanted, who I wanted. If you have not heard, this is a love triangle, and let me tell you, you're going to be going back and forth between the two boys, like thinking that you want this one and then the other one says something and you're like, oh hold up, until you get to the freaking end and there's this massive bomb that drops in your lap and you're like, where the fuck did this come from? And it just sends you into a spiral. It honestly sends you into a spiral. The betrayal in this and the false leads, I can't believe it. I cannot believe what actually happened. This was better than I expected. I had this on my shelf for like 3 years. I can't really say much about this one without spoiling it, but yeah, there is a lot of high stakes, there is action, there is a love triangle, there's betrayal, I guess in a way it's almost friends to lovers in a way, maybe, possibly. Anyway, it was really good. I highly recommend, like, you need to read this. So the next one I read was a memoir, and I ended up reading I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy. And this one I didn't want to read it because it is a memoir, and the things she talks about, I feel like I can't actually really rate the book, like, you know what I mean? But when I was on Fable, it wouldn't let me do a no rating, so I ended up picking 4 stars because I didn't want to give it a low rating because it definitely is worth the read. And the things that she went through, her childhood is so traumatic. I can't, but like, she is no longer acting, I believe, and I can see why. So if you don't know who Janet is, she plays Sam in the Nickelodeon show Sam and Cat with Ariana Grande. She also did dip into Ariana Grande while she was working with her. She also spoke about Miranda Cosgrove. Miranda, like, has always seemed like the sweetest person alive. But in this book, she is so sweet and nice, and it's crazy, like, seeing the insight of actors' lives and celebrity lives. It's just so different. And with the child actors, a lot of the time it comes from the parents, and the parents are forcing them. Like Cole Sprouse, he spoke about it. He spoke about how I believe it was the mum that got him and Dylan to act when they were kids. And a lot of them do it to pay the bills because they don't have any money, so they send the kid into acting. This started when she was like, I believe 4, 5, 6, and from that age, her mum always told her that being as skinny as you can is the best way, and any fat on you, like even 1% of fat, is really bad, and people won't view you the same. At the very start, she says, I have achieved mum's current goal weight for me, 89 pounds. If you use kilos, that is 40.3 kilos. It's literally a child. And that was the mum's goal weight for her. Like, it's disgusting. So another thing that happened was she ended up having an audition and she got turned down for it. She felt humiliated over it. So she said afterwards, Mum told me she never wanted me to be humiliated like that again. So she signed me up for 14 dance classes a week, 2 of jazz, ballet, lyrical, musical, theatre and hip hop, plus 1 of stretching and 3 of tap, and told me 2 background jobs a month will cover the costs. Like, this is a kid that needs to go to school and live her childhood, and she's out here being signed up to like all this stuff and she has to pay for it. Like, what? Plus also with her money that she got from these like background jobs and stuff like that, like background acting jobs, because she wasn't a main actress for quite some time, she was paying all the household bills. Like, she was literally paying for everything. She got hardly anything herself. And then there was one like where she done a thing, I can't remember which movie it was, but she said the worst part by far was the mic pack. The budget was so low that they didn't have a proper waistband for the mic, so they just duct taped it to my body. Like, what the heck? So this is the last one for April, and it is Haunted Love. Now this is a dark romance, and brother's best friend. I will always eat that up. I love a good brother's best friend trope. So this is like having 2 protective brothers. So we follow Aspen, and she is our FMC. Now I love her character. She loves staying home, watching Grey's Anatomy in her Grinch pajamas, and like, hello, that is literally me. That is my personality, and that is what I love doing. That is all I do all year round. And yeah, I really loved her character. She is a virgin, and I believe she actually is 21. And pretty much her friend Bex ends up taking her to this nightclub. It is a secret nightclub that no one knows about, and it turns out that it's actually a sex club. And there's like wristbands on different levels on the extremes that you feel like you want to go to. So you can either, you know, do just missionary, you can do one-on-one, you can do just kissing, you can do, you know, just foreplay, you can do orgies, you can do public, you can do private, just whatever you want to do. There's a wristband for what you want to do, so then other people can, you know, then they know what you want. I really enjoyed this one. So obviously they go to this sex club. Aspen loses her virginity and she doesn't realize it, but she's actually lost it to her brother's best friend. And they don't know at the time because it is a dark room. It's a pitch black room. They don't know. How they didn't pick up on each other's voices though is what I'm wondering. I was wondering the whole time. I'm like, how do you not notice the voice? Because you spend all the time together. Now this best friend Isaac, he is such a gentleman. I absolutely love him. He seems hard on the outside, but he's so genuine on the inside. He tries his best to put his other people's feelings first before himself. He'd rather make other people happy before himself. And in the end, I really love it because he ends up standing up to Aspen's brother and he's just like, no, I love your sister. I've always loved your sister. He has 4 nightclubs and he named every single freaking nightclub after Aspen before they got together. Like she didn't even know that he liked her. Like what? He literally done this, and the whole time he acts like he never liked her and he sees her as a sister and blah blah blah, because everyone knew that she had this massive crush on him, and he ends up naming all his nightclubs after her. Like what? Anyway, I ended up rating it 4 stars. It was honestly so fun. It was a wild ride. I loved it. I loved it so much. So that was all for April. It has just started raining, so sorry if you can actually hear that. But that's all for April. So now for May, I wanted to continue the brother's best friend trope, and we went with Twisted Love. This was better than I expected. I didn't expect it to be that great, honestly. I also didn't expect it to be a 5-star book, and it wasn't. I gave it 3.5 stars. This was like good in the time, but I haven't honestly thought about it since after. If anything, I've thought more about the second book, which is Twisted Games, and that has Reese. I think his name is Reese Larson, and also Bridget. So this follows Ava Chen, and pretty much she has 3 other friends, and every book follows one of those friends, which I think is pretty cool because I actually didn't realize that. So her brother, pretty much Ava and her brother live next door to each other. They go to college, they live next door. And her brother goes away for 12 months to work in another country to help. And his best friend Alex, he asks him to move in to his house so he can keep an eye on Ava and make sure she doesn't get up to any mischief, any trouble. She has this crazy ex that is like stalking her. So Alex does as that, and he's like, fine, I'll babysit your sister. And he takes this so freaking serious that he's literally practically stalking Ava and ends up falling in love with her. They literally love each other. Alex is the biggest cold-hearted guy, stone, brick, freaking rock you'll ever meet, but inside this man actually has feelings, and he actually let her in, and you could visually see how much he was trying to, like, you know, get Ava to see that he really did like her, and it wasn't just a game, it wasn't fake, all that. It was a fun read. It was pretty quick, I'd say. It was a bit slow in some places, but it is what it is. And the next one we had is Daydream by Hannah Grace. This one was also 3.5 stars. I've actually done a reading vlog on this one, so I won't speak into it too much, but pretty much we follow Henry and Hallie, and this is a part of the Maple Hill series. So we have Icebreaker as the first one, Wildflower the second one, Wildfire as the second one, and then we have Daydream. This is the last book in the series and it's so good. If you don't know, Maple Hills is literally hockey. It's hockey romance. The first one is with Nate, the second one is Russ. Russ is such a golden retriever. I honestly reckon Wildfire is probably my favourite out of the whole three. I just love Aurora and Russ so much. And then we have Daydream, which is Henry. Now, Henry has some form of ADHD, and Hannah Grace tries and showcases what it's like living that way and how his brain functions and his life functions and the thoughts in his head, and, you know, takes us through like scenarios on how he's feeling and stuff like that. Henry is such a gentle soul. He's such a gentleman. If he wanted to, he would. I'm just saying, this guy, he does the extreme. His attention to detail is just... he puts all the other guys to shame, okay? He does. But yeah, really love this one, 3.5 stars. So the next one I started was a horror book, which I read book 1 to 4. Still a decent size length one because it's about 150 pages each one. So I guess that's like one book, right? Anyway. So halfway through it, there's 10 books in total. Now it's called Raised by a Killer. I don't want to talk about this too much because I generally don't recommend. If you're a deep horror lover, like for example, if you love horror movies like Saw and Hostel, those like really deep gory ones where they do things to other humans, that's on you. Like, you feel free to read it and go through the triggers. This book is definitely 100% a trigger one, but essentially it goes through ages with D aside. It goes from her being 4 to I think 20, 21, 22, somewhere around that. But I've done from 4 to 17 and it's brutal. It's honestly brutal. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. It's sick. I've got no rating for this book. I didn't want to rate them. I think on Goodreads I rated like 1 star because I had to give something, but I don't recommend. Why do I keep reading it? Because I want to see how it finishes. Like, I'm just curious cat. I do say the more that I've gone on though, the more tame it's becoming. Like, I don't feel like it's as bad as what it was at the start. But it could just be like a sweet spot at the moment where nothing much is really happening until later on. So yeah, so that's that one. That's all I'm saying on it. I don't recommend, but yeah. So lucky last we have In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros, and now this book here is my first actual Rebecca Yarros romance, and oh my freaking god, it is a military. I had no idea it was military. First military book I've ever read, right? First Rebecca Yarros book I've ever read. I know she does a few romance books where they are military based, and holy fucking shit, I am obsessed. Obsessed. I could not put this book down. It was so freaking good. This one is like a bit of a time, it's like 2 timelines going at the same time. So we have Nate, oh my god, and then we have Izzy. Now they meet on a plane, just randomly sitting next to each other. They don't know each other, they just sat next to each other, got along, met on a plane, and then like I think it was like 5 years later or something, they ended up seeing each other again at a bar. And every single time they like meet each other, they can only see each other like once a year, but every single time they meet each other, it's like, it's chemistry, like it's fireworks. It's amazing. And in the end, this goes on for years and years and years, and every single time it's like sparks fly, and the things that Nate does to this woman is just, I seriously, like, military men, I don't know what you do, but like Mariana says, is this book good because you're ovulating, or is it an ovulating book? But yeah, I highly recommend. Pretty much for this one, I can't really tell you the plot the plot is they keep running into each other. It's literally like right person, wrong time type of scenario the whole way through. And yeah, you go through all these years and you see them always catching up, and you see her go through other relationships at the same time. Like, they're crazy. It's crazy, but I absolutely love it. So that's a monthly wrap up for April and May. I normally do a separate month, but you know what, time got away and I kind of needed to get ahead on my schedule again. I had a period there for a little bit where I haven't posted anything for about a month, but I have been trying to work on future videos to catch up. So I had a lot going on with just working all the time and my little one being sick and stuff. So sorry I haven't been able to actually like get back in and post yet. The train is going, the steam is full ahead, and I've got the next 2 months planned out and I'm working on it. So without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I know it is a bit more lengthy than normal. But yeah, like I said, 2 months combined, I actually read more books than I typically would in a month, especially in April. Like, I was going on a craze in April. I don't know what happened, just crazy. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next week you will be seeing the fantasy vlog going up, which will be more in depth about the 3 fantasy books at the start, which was Fallen Academy, Lightlark, and Crimson Moth. And then the week after that you'll see more about a Daydream, because I done a scavenger hunt picks my book. So I will see you guys there. Enjoy. Let me know what you're currently reading this month. I would love to see what it is. Check it out, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it so much. It helps me know what you enjoy, so I would really appreciate it. I've also got my Goodreads and Fable all linked down below, and if you're also into makeup, I do have that too. If you didn't know, I do creative makeup on the side. I'll also have that linked below too. So as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.